Hello. Welcome, welcome everyone. Can you hear me okay?
I sure can.
All right. I got a little delay before I could hear you, but I heard you in the other room say it.
Hold
So,
on one second.
welcome everyone. Welcome to our next live Meatless Monday. I'm so excited to be here with you. Thank you, J&J Video, for that beautiful thumbnail, as they call it, our little picture in our background, and setting up the whole stream. Our producer extraordinaire,
You
Dawn
are welcome.
J&J Video, in the house.
You are welcome.
And tonight's stream is titled Meatless Monday. Are we supposed to eat meat? So, the one thing, if you're like me, and I know you're like that too, Dawn, everything people can tell you whatever they want, and you can say, okay, but why? Like, that's my thing. I need to know the why behind everything. Like, I was listening to a lecture from Dr. Milton Mills, and he was saying in the beginning, he was talking about this very topic, are we supposed to eat meat? And he did like a long lecture and got really in depth into everything that I kind of know, but not as much because he's an actual doctor. But the reason that he said this is like, is it just a weird coincidence that when you go plant-based, all of a sudden you can, lose weight, stay at your optimal weight, you can prevent disease, reverse disease, shrink cancer cells, you can reverse your type 2 diabetes. Why do people feel more energy than they ever have? Why does it stop you even, make your skin look better? Why are people getting rid of allergies like I did and things? And we'll go into that story of our health changes and reducing inflammation, getting rid of chronic pain. Why is all this happening? And that to me was one of the things that I wanted to know. Once I heard enough stories and enough testimonials of people that have, really changed their life because of this, it made me think why. And when you actually delve into the biology of it, like I said, there's so much research that you could read, but there's just a couple of things that really stood out to me. And that's what I want to go ahead and talk about today. But first, I always have to start each stream with saying why I am so passionate about it. And I want to hear your story too about why you're passionate. But personally, the reason I am is because I just did this like a, hey, I think I want to lose some weight. I'm going to see if I can go plant based for a couple of days. I think it was 3 days to start with. And then I was like, yeah, I think I can do it for a week. And then it became 2 weeks. And I started feeling so good that after a month, I realized it was allergy season and I did not have any itchy, watery eyes. I didn't have any of the bad cold that I used to get at the beginning of allergy season. The wind could be blowing the pollen around and I wasn't feeling anything. And I'm like, this is really weird. Like, why is this not happening? I'm like, I'm happy about it, but is it a fluke? You know what I mean? And then I was used to have to like stretch out with like terrible back pain at the end of each night. And in the morning, I had to get on an exercise bike. My muscles in the upper back would just be so tight. And that completely went away after I would say about, it was either like 30 days or maybe almost 2 months. And then it was just like I had so much energy. I had like a better spirit. It just felt really like the way, like I was giving my body the right food, when I went plant based. And I still feel that way. I still feel tons of energy. And it made me think, if I can have these changes, and then I started reading into it and noticing that I'm reading stories of people getting rid of asthma, skin conditions like eczema, acid reflux. They're getting rid of IBS and other, chronic fatigue syndrome, other illnesses that people, and then I even read about people and personally met a few people who reversed their type 2 diabetes, reversed cancer, heart disease. Like, it's just unbelievable what can be done with a plant-based diet. And more so than that, if you start now, you can reverse it. You start your kids out on this. You can keep them at optimal health before they even get any of those health issues. We did like a whole stream of reversing type 2 diabetes, that you can check on the live, if you look at the previous lives. So tell us, Dawn, what is your um, number one like passion or one of the things that you felt since going plant based?
I tell you what, one of the things that I love most about it is the drinking water every day. Drinking water every day mixed with eating nothing but vegetables, and I'm telling you, I feel so much better. It's like, I was going through hot flashes and things like that. I don't get that anymore. I don't get that anymore. It's like drinking, eating fruits, eating vegetables, whether it's cooked food, cooked vegetables, or raw vegetables. Um, Plant-based butter, plant-based milk, um, plant-based meat, and I mean, I have not eaten meat in like what, going on 3 years now, you know.
Hmm.
And
That's so excellent.
I can't believe that I have not eaten meat in almost 3 years. Well, yeah, in almost 3 years, and that's insane. And I've been completely dairy free for at least 6 months. And like I said, the only thing that I had left over, because I was never a big egg eater, and I was already drinking the almond milk, doing plant-based butter, plant-based mayo, Pizza was my nemesis. It was my arch nemesis, and I could not I could not stay away from just regular pizza, not vegan pizza, and like Little Caesars, right? But finally one day I just, you know, put my mind to it, and I said, the hell with it. That's the only thing left. I'm not even a big cheese person, but pizza for some reason was my weakness. It's not even like it's about the cheese. It was just pizza. Everybody loves pizza. So when I cut pizza out, I knew I was done.
Right. And I knew
I
you were
knew.
done when you did that too. And
Yeah, when
it's
I got rid of
wild.
the pizza, I knew I was totally vegan at that point.
It's interesting too. We have been recently talking about this, how your body starts to crave different things. Like when you completely clear out of all the meat and dairy, it's just like anything else. Your body gets in a habit and it actually runs off its own momentum. When you start feeling good and you start losing weight and you can eat as much as you want and you feel that energy, your body literally starts craving what it was meant to crave before we put all that programming in that everyone grows up with, that milk does a body good and you need meat for protein, and we've trained our brains really to think that we need that, and so that's what we're craving because that's what we've always ate. But once we go the other way and start putting plants in there, our body is like, yes, this is what I've been seeking, this is what I've been really needing, and you start to like look at the vegetables and the fruits the same way that you would have looked at a pizza at some point. It's hard to believe, but trust us, because I ate meat for 42 years. I didn't even know
Yeah.
what the word vegan was, 4
Hmm.
years ago. But
Right.
coming up this April, I will have been vegan for 4 years. I've been plant-based. I had April of
Congratulations,
2019.
baby.
It's like like things that you wouldn't expect. Think about it, like if you thought about, if you're, well, in my age range, think about yourself at 19, 15, and whatever, some age that's really young, when you thought you knew everything and you're like, oh, I could never do this or that, and then you get to this age and you're like, okay, it's almost like you can't believe it was yourself doing those things, and that's how it feels now, just after, like, it feels like almost like I've been this way my whole life because I'm so passionate about wanting to tell people about it. And once the more you read and the more you research and the more you see what goes on in the industry of like how animals are treated and what our bodies were meant to eat, and you see that it's kind of like this like frustrating cycle that people are caught in. They're, eating food that's making them sick, and then they're being told that they should eat this food in certain, ways by the media and by our food guidelines, and yet the information is hidden that tells you that this can heal you. It's out there. All you got to do is type in, "I healed
Right.
myself with a plant-based diet." I mean, it's there, but it's not publicized because unfortunately, there's a lot to gain from these industries. They don't always want to put it out there. I'm not saying they're lying to us. I'm just saying that it's not publicized.
Right.
If you're a mechanic and you don't want to necessarily tell people how to fix their car,
Right.
because
Right.
you're
Right.
making profit off of it. So there's a lot of great doctors. I recommend. My favorite is Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine. They have a ton of information on their website. And if you're someone who wants to know really the science behind it and you trust doctors, these are excellent resources to go to. And you can really see that there is a group of people out there who are fighting to get this in schools, in hospitals, get the right foods in people so we can give people a chance. The Most of the world is obese. We're, the big pharma, as they call it, is a million billion dollar, industry, because there's so much medicine. You go into your local pharmacy, you've got a medicine for everything in the aisle. You've got something to help you with heartburn, you got something to help you with this and that. And really, we're just the world is kind of sick, and we just think these things happen to us and it's not true. You can actually take control of your health, but you have to make a commitment because it's not easy at first, but it will end up being one of the best things that you can do. And just know that things don't just have to happen to you. Like, even if your genes are predisposition for certain diseases based on your family, those environmental things and what you put in your body can really change the what the outcome is. You don't have
Mhm.
to feed those genes or those cells. What you can do is put things in your body that are going to prevent and give you the best chance of not getting diseases. Because some people are like, well, it doesn't matter, I'm going to die anyway, and this and that. And if that's the way you feel, that's fine. But while we're here, we want to also feel good. We spend the
Right.
first half of our lives working so hard, most of us, and the second half is supposed to be the part we enjoy. You don't want to have to do it, either not being here or being miserable, in my
Mhm.
opinion. S-
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, it's about quality of life. You have people that argue, well, what are you guys going vegan for? What are you putting yourself through that for? It can't be fun. You're eating vegetables all the time. Well, yeah, it actually can be fun. Vegetables can be really good. And it's not about trying to live forever. We all know we got to go. But it's about, at least up until that point, I'm going to live a damn good quality of life. So
Yes,
that's what it's about. It's not about trying to live forever. We know that's impossible, but having a good quality of life all the way past your 50s, that's what I'm about right now. You know?
that's absolutely, that is the way to do it. And that's one of the things you mentioned just there made me think, most things that you cook that are meat, you have to put seasoning on them. You have to really, doctor them up, as they say, to get them to taste good. It's the same with vegetables. Like, if you get creative with it, you're going to really find there are so many recipes and things, and you're not even really changing a whole lot of your diet. You're just taking the meat and dairy out, and there's so many like interesting foods that you can eat. Most people that go plant-based say that they've had the best food they've ever had since they went this route, because it
Mhm.
creates your tastes are different after a while. You start to really taste the food. Everything just kind of, it's this whole world opens up to you of different recipes once you delve into it, and it becomes a habit. This is where you go to the store, you pick up what you want, what you need, what you prepare for your family, and it becomes part of what you eat. I mean, if I said this last week too, if there was a pill that I told you could keep you from aging as fast, could reduce the pain and inflammation that you might be dealing with, could prevent and reverse chronic diseases, I mean, you would jump all over that. So the least you can do for yourself and your family is at least give it a try, in my opinion, and see, really get into it and get motivated to try these new things, because it's the only way that you'll really know. I would have had no clue that I would have been liked eating vegetable replacement items. You think they're going to taste terrible or like cardboard, but your almond milks, your Hellman's vegan mayo tastes great when you need to make those foods. But truly, the best thing you can do is whole food plant based, which is just
Mhm.
like, you can make so much out of mushrooms and beans, and it's just, and all the different varieties of vegetables and rice and grains. It really is such an interesting way to eat, and it makes you feel so good.
Yeah,
And
you
there's a
don't have to miss the old way. You can do so many creative things with vegetables and rice and potatoes, and you know what I mean? You can do so many interesting things with non dairy and meat food.
and I stay mostly like raw and whole food. But when like the Super Bowl came up, or say you have a barbecue or something that you have to go to, or you're having people over, or it's a Thanksgiving or some kind of traditional occasion, there is plenty of products out there. You don't have to not serve people what they're normally used to, but you can still keep it healthy. We had really good plant-based chicken, and it's like Gardein, like these products they have out there while you're in your transition. If you absolutely have to have something that tastes like meat, there's those products out there. And some people are like, oh, they're bad for you. Well, yeah, you don't want to live completely on higher sodium food, of course, but when you're getting ready to cheat, they don't have cholesterol in them like the meat would. They're not clogging up your arteries. They're not,
Right.
creating you to have insulin resistance, which that was the special we did on the reversing type 2 diabetes. You're technically like cleaning out your system. There is a place for sugars to go. That's why you weren't didn't have diabetes when you were little, because your cells, you hadn't had years and years of meat and dairy clogging those cells where the sugar was supposed to go. So
Mhm.
now, as they clog up, now you're older, you eat some carbs or a potato, and here goes your sugar, so you're blaming it on the potato. Actually, once people have gone plant-based for as little, some people 2 weeks, some people 30 days, those that clears out where those sugars are supposed to go naturally. And all of a sudden, when you can eat a potato and you can eat a banana or whatever you used to think was spiking your sugar, and the sugar absorbs into your body. Like, people have to actually do this under doctor's supervision, because you'll be off your medicine before you know it. And people think they're just destined to live with this. And
Right.
one of the things I wanted to show was our digestive system. If you look at the digestive system of a rabbit, let's just say a traditional herbivore animal that we all know, we joke about it, rabbit food and everything, that eats plants. And then we look at, let's say, a wolf, like is on the picture here, you'll see that they have two different digestive systems. The carnivore is very short. It is meant for the meat to come in and get out. And then the herbivore, the rabbit, you can see has a really long digestive system. And there's so many other things, but these are just things that stand out to me. And that's meant for it to be able to slowly move plants so it can sift out all of the nutrients. If you look at the bottom of the picture on the left, that is a human digestive tract. So to me, it looks so obvious, right? That is mirroring the digestive tract of a herbivore. So what happens, that's why so many people have stomach issues because the meat is sitting in there. We've all heard that. I think it came out years ago that the meat's rotting in our system. And, it is actually causing people also the pH levels are different, the acids and things that break down certain foods. So because we're meant to eat plants and we're putting meat in there, the carnivore has that, that proper acidity in their body to be able to break down meats. So it's causing us to have acid reflux and a lot of stomach issues. We're all constipated, having to take what is that stuff? Miselex or I don't
Metamucil.
Metamucil. Like, we're not eating what our body was meant for. It's like putting diesel gas into a regular unleaded car and expecting it to run right, And we're putting, it's like why do we take better care of our cars and different electronics than we do our own, body? It's like this
And we
seems
have
so
to live in
obvious.
here. You don't have to live in your car. You have to live in this body.
And some
You have
people
to
are like,
carry it around with you. Why would you care? Why would you want to carry around a body that that's for lack of a better term, obese or not functioning properly? You have to live in here. You have to think of it like your home, your apartment, your condo, whatever. You're living, you're housing your spirit and soul and your mind in this vessel, in
that's
this
a great
temple.
point.
And if you want to be comfortable in it, you want it to function properly, you don't want to be worried every 5 minutes, is something happening. To If you eat right, you'll walk around with that confidence that whatever happens, your body can handle it because you put the right stuff in it to make it be able to do that.
All of those vegetables and fruits, everything, all if you go and look up health benefits of spinach, you look up health benefits of broccoli, health benefits of kale, everything that you can think of that you look up, tomatoes. The one of the first three things are going to be like it boosts your immunity, it has antioxidants, it has polyphenols. I think I'm saying that wrong, but that can actually prevent, cancer. A lot of the times it's been known to level out your blood sugars, everything that you need for your body. These have in it. So just even to start with, increasing your vegetable and fruit intake, having that one salad a day like we talked about last week. And think about this. Some people are like, well, then we were designed to eat meat. Look at our teeth and look at our hands. And well, here's the thing. I'll post in the description an article that we weren't always eating meat. In fact, if you look at a wolf, his actual jaws are meant to chomp down and pull apart flesh. If he goes and
Mm-hmm.
he catches an animal, his jaws also, if you ever watched your dog chew, or a cat even, their jaws chomp up and down, right? And
Right.
that's how they chew their food. You can see they barely, like, they don't do that round rotation that we do, like grinding our food. They're just like like up
Right,
and
right,
down.
right.
So when you look at the jaw of the human and other animals that eat, like a horse is a herbivore. You ever watch a horse? He chews with the
Mm-hmm.
rounded motion. Our jaw is set up to be able to just, extract nutrients from the fruits and vegetables that we eat. Now, the other thing that's interesting is there was a this is well known, but if you put an apple and a rabbit in the crib with a baby, the baby is not going to try to take a bite out of the rabbit and play with the apple. He's going to
Mm-hmm.
probably try to take a bite out of the apple and play with the rabbit. Like we don't drive down the road and see like a squirrel running and think, "Oh, I'm going to go and just take a bite out of that." Like that's
Unless
not
you're Duck
appetizing
Dynasty.
for us. Yeah, but even that he's going to cook it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like even him, like even as
Right.
rugged as those guys were, and I mean, I know people look at hunting as a sport and things, but if you really look logically, you don't like that. something dead on the side of the road doesn't make you want to go take a bite out of it. Something that's like, oh, look, there's fresh strawberries and they said you can pick them. Oh, really? Okay, I'll take one of those. Like,
Every
you
time
don't,
I hear you say that, I think about Jace from Duck Dynasty when
is
he
that
kept
something
hearing
we can
the.
eat?
Yeah, it's like he could hear the shit scratching in his ceiling, and he's like, what is that up there? He's thinking, is that something that's gonna try to get through, or maybe I'm thinking that's something I might want to eat for lunch.
Those guys were funny. I mean, as much
Hmm.
as now it's such a, and like you said, that's how he was brought up. That's how he was raised. We have been programmed with we need meat on our plate for protein, which is not at all true. The protein is in beans, it's in spinach, it's in broccoli, it's in every vegetable, that any green vegetable, peas, everything has protein in it. In fact, the biggest animal in the world, the elephant, actually eats plants. Like, it doesn't eat meat. So the animals are getting the protein from the vegetables. And then we are then turning around and getting the protein from the animal. But in addition to the protein, we're also getting cholesterol,
All
bad
the bad
cholesterol,
stuff.
clogged arteries, high fat content. We're clogging up those cells I was talking about, causing insulin resistance, which causes you to get type 2 diabetes. We're gaining weight. Like, I don't you don't gain weight from eating carbs. It's a you can, if you eat enough calories and enough carbs, you can gain weight when you're plant based. If you start to eat a lot, you can if you want to, but the main thing is, as long as you're eating plants, fruits, vegetables, and eating a well rounded diet, you're never going to go above a certain weight. You're always going to stay at your optimal weight. I remember one video I watched said, think about it. Have you ever seen an overweight deer running down the side of the road? Because animals know what they're
I
supposed to
can't
eat
say that I have. I
because
don't
you never
ever think
will.
I've seen an overweight deer or horse for that matter. We saw a horse this
Exactly.
morning and they're
That's
so muscular and you don't see a lot of body fat.
Yes. And see, that's the thing that people aren't realizing. The domesticated animals. Hey, KT, welcome. Domesticated animals that we keep in our house. I mean, I overfeed the cat. I know I do. So she's going to probably, sometimes they're going to be bigger than animals in the wild, but animals naturally know what they're supposed to eat. They eat what they're supposed to because that's what they're craving. They weren't told that, hey, we're going to go ahead, we're going to slaughter this meat for you. We're going to inject it with some red food coloring or dye or whatever they use to make it look nice and fresh so we can put it in these nice cellophanes and sit it in the store for you. No, it's graying, rotting meat. Most of it has a lot of antibiotics pumped into it so that it can, you know, be fight the diseases that they have because they keep these animals all pent up. Like, I just saw this thing about chicken that I don't even want, I'll share it on the page, but it's terrible, like the E. coli and things. And then they're pumped up with all this stuff, and you can get the antibiotic free, but that's still going to give you the cholesterol and things. And a lot of people say, oh, chicken's better for me. It's the same thing. If you're eating a meat based diet, you're getting the same issues from eating chicken, and there's good replacement chicken when you want it and you need it. If you're,
Hmm.
eating red meat, you can do things that are going to give you just as much protein but not give you the cholesterol and everything that goes into it. So it's like, if you're dealing with anything with, like I was, the back pain, or you're dealing with allergies or something worse like a chronic disease, or you just don't feel good or you have low energy, you have to like know that this way of eating won't be easy at first, but once you do it, it'll feel like you just clean, like you put some liquid plumber in your body and just cleaned out,
Right.
and it's
Right.
like,
Right.
trust me, I was, and you can tell everyone just how I was. I was a big meat eater. I would have never guessed any of this was bad for you. I was taught just like everybody else that we need our meat. And I mean, I was big at Outback and I love cheese. And now I've found good replacements for things when I want that. And mostly the thing that makes me feel best is eating those fruits and vegetables. You'll start to really like the taste of them. It's like trying to tell somebody to watch a movie that they don't think they'll like, because you
Mhm.
just want
Mhm.
people to try it. I'm like, when I get
Right,
rich,
right.
if I get rich, I'm going to pay people to go on the plant-based diet for 30 days instead of like most people are like, "Hey, join my 30-day challenge and donate to my, to me." I'm going to pay them. I'm like, that's
Right,
what I would
right.
do with money if I won the lottery. So what's
Woohoo!
going on, KT? Thank you for joining us. I know
How are you, KT? Welcome, welcome, welcome.
I didn't even send the link out. I was running so late. It was so busy today. KT knows what I'm talking about. I couldn't even get caught up at work. So it was like up until the last minute. I was like, oh, can we make it 8 o'clock? I know it's usually so I'm gonna be more prepared. Next week I have my schedule so that I get done at 6:30 so that we can get started by 7:30 and get everybody the notifications out and everything.
Part of it was my fault. I actually put the wrong title on. It was like Meatball Monday, and we had the stream set
It's
up for
funny.
7:30, and it was like, okay, yeah, let's. No, it was
I was
seven
trying to let you
forty-five.
off the hook there. I mean, but you wanted to say it, right? I think I liked Meatball Monday. I wanted her to leave it, but you know how producers are. It was like autocorrect is, I was just telling her that I made a post on Facebook and I put, I am grateful for the lessons I've been taught. And it said, I am great for the lessons I've been taught. It autocorrected. I know I typed grateful, and maybe I spelled it wrong. Did I spell it GREAT full or something? And it autocorrected it to great. I don't know, but I'm like, okay, for like a half a day, I looked like a big conceited jerk. I'm great. I'm like, I didn't say I was great. I'm not great. I'm just passionate. I'm not great, but
Right, you're
I
great. You're
do
great.
just really want to help people, and I know you do as well. And it's like it just sometimes it's frustrating that I feel like the information from the other side is not out there so people can make an informed decision, on
Mhm.
what and how they want to eat. But the big thing about it is not knowing how to do it. Like that's the first thing. Like, what am I going to eat? There's no way I could just my family's going to be able to sustain on veggies. But if you think about it, most of the stuff you already eat, with the exception of a couple little things, is going to be most of us don't sit down and have, like, oh, I'm just going to have a steak with nothing with it.
Right.
You're going to you have vegetables and it's just a couple little replacements. And if you try it, like try it on Mondays or try it for a week, and you'll start to see that you'll be like, oh, wow, this is actually good. I can do this. You know what I mean? But really, to get the benefits of it, you've got to do it for 30 days. And
Mhm.
go to the store, get a bunch of good stuff in the house. I mean, these fad diets that are out there will get you so confused, they'll have your head spinning. This one, you have to eat, eggs, or you have to eat the what do you call it, like this one's telling you to eat 500 times a day, or this one's telling you to eat grilled chicken, this one's telling you to do this, that, and or eat cabbage every single minute, but cabbage is really good for you, so you really
Yes,
should
I
eat a
love it.
lot of it. Dawn is on a cabbage kick right now, dude. I mean, she has got this place smelling like an Asian kitchen.
I
She's
love
cooked up
it.
this big thing of cabbage, but cabbage is good. And tonight I bought sweet potatoes, which I put them in the oven. I hope they're not too mushy because I wanted to get them ready for after so I can make a salad. Sweet potatoes are so good for you. Regular potatoes are not bad for you. They've got a lot of vitamin B in them. It's what we put on them that is usually gonna to make the issue, like the butter. But hey, there's lots of things you can do to replace the butter. I just like sometimes like them with salt and pepper. You can put them in with cabbage. They have Earth Balance makes a really good, pretty clean ingredients, vegan butter, and that stuff. Like when you need to put butter on something, if you have to, or if you don't want to use like a little bit of oil, avocado oil, or whatever your preference is, when you you would be surprised, I'm telling you, because I thought everything was gonna taste really weird if you know what, tonight I want a baked potato with, sour cream and cheese, let's just say. When you get those cravings, those comfort foods, you can still have it and you can still be plant-based. That's the important thing to know. I
Mhm.
recommend but you'll find recipes like I just put out a thing on the page and I'll try to reshare it, or if anyone's interested just message me. Like it's 50 I think or 30 easy vegan meals that you can make. Tabitha Brown has so many things that she shows you how to make, and it's easy stuff. I mean, think about it. The easiest thing to make is vegetables and eating fruit, so it's
Right,
like
right.
the meat is the hard part that I always either burnt or undercooked. And, I have not had an upset stomach since I went plant based, like because of meat.
I would
I
have to
did.
say the same thing.
Isn't that wild? I mean, like,
Yeah.
you think it's from tomato sauce or, different things like that cause, heartburn and things and upset stomach, but you find it's really the toxins and things in the meat, or maybe even the bacteria that wasn't cooked out of it, because you start to think like, "Ew, this is gross." Like I'm biting into like veins and flesh, and I don't know what the creature has ate that I'm now eating. At least when you eat a vegetable, you know what you're eating. So,
Right, right.
it's been a life changer, like, for me, and that's what makes me so passionate about it, and the stories I hear of other people who've, really have changed their lives. And I do know that we're all, you know, like, I thought I loved animals and I knew what was going on, but it also is going to really save a lot of animals. Like, we're killing like 200 million animals a day and they're suffering, and it's causing the amount of resources we use to feed those animals could feed a small country of people. If we use those resources differently, it could feed hungry people too. So it's like all over, either environmentally, animal rights, or your own health. Like, there's it's a
There's
win-win
something in it for
situation.
everybody, right?
Yes, definitely. And I just want people to know that they have control of their health, because it's not going to be told on the commercials that are trying to sell you medicine. It's not going to be told by the multi-billion-dollar dairy and meat industry that wants you to think you need that for your protein and you're, doing a body good. It's going
I
to
loved what
be
you said. Milton Mills said that milk does the body good is a slogan. It's not actual based on any facts.
right. He says it's marketing, you
Yeah.
know, which it has been known to cause cancer, dairy products. So here's the funny thing, it's that. And then the World Health Organization a couple years ago, probably didn't hear about this either, actually made processed meat like hot dogs, ham, salami, lunch meats, processed meat, a class 1 carcinogen, the same as cigarette smoke for your
Mm.
body. But that was kind of covered up, but you can look it up. Look up processed meat carcinogen, and then I think red meat was classified as a second class or whatever they have. I mean, to me, it don't matter. I know that now the science behind it shows that my body was meant to eat meat. So I'm not putting diesel gas until I can get an electric car anyway. I'm not going to put diesel gas in an electric car or in a regular unleaded. I'm going to put that in there, because next thing you know, you put the wrong gas in, it's going to. So I'm going to put what is supposed to go in my body, and I'm going to feel that I'm giving myself the best chance to live a happy, healthy, long life that allows me to feel like I'm healing, and putting the right stuff in. And that's just, and trust me, we've got so many resources. We do recipes, we've got the page, the vegan knowledge page, if you're here for the first time. I just started a new page too, Plant Truth. So we share a ton of resources, and there's so many people who are beginner in the vegan knowledge group, but there's also so many people who are experienced in there. And I love that, because they can kind of come on and tell you different, things that work for them and the health changes that they've made. So we'll post a link to that in the description or in the comments too. But I'm really thankful for everybody coming and even last minute. I really am thankful for you listening. Do you have anything else you want to say? I know it's kind of been a short one tonight, but
No, I'm good. I just enjoy, just going back and forth and spitballing these ideas and learning new things each week about, and just reinforcing why I chose to become vegan and why I'm so grateful that you're also vegan so I don't have to fight that battle and you don't have to fight that with me. Anytime we're comparing vegetable meals. Oh, what'd you cook today? Cabbage and what? Oh, okay.
right.
And I'm like, oh, you made corn tonight? Yeah, I'll have some corn. We don't fight each other on it. We embrace the lifestyle together, and that makes it even easier for us to help each other and help ourselves.
Like tonight, I'm gonna have a big thing of rice. We're gonna have pinto beans. I'm gonna make a vegetable mixture to go with it, like cabbage. I think I have snow peas, broccoli, and then there's something else I have. Carrots, I think I'm gonna put in. I have a baked sweet
Mm-hmm.
potato, and then, you can even throw a couple of, like, cashew nuts or whatever you want into the mix, and then what I also having is, as you know, my big raw salad because the living food is the best food for your body, and I love that big salad with gonna have some, tomatoes, lettuce, cucumbers, avocados, tomatoes, and some plant powered ranch on there that comes from Hidden Valley, and also some balsamic. I kind of love both, and then some corn on the cob. And then I'm probably going to have cereal for dessert with like almond milk or vanilla soy milk. And literally, that's how much I eat every day and then fast the rest of the day, except for maybe some vegetables or fruit if I need a snack. And I stay at 125 tops. And even eating all those carbs and potatoes, and that just shows you that eating the right stuff, you can eat as much as you want. And I know that you're probably going to have cabbage, right?
Yeah, you know it. My old standby cabbage, onions, and carrots, and some mushrooms, and maybe a little bit of broccoli.
That is great. And like I said, we didn't have to skimp on we did our little celebration on Sunday. Like when you say cheat days, most people are thinking they do like, that we would, oh, we're going to cheat, we're going to have meat. Nope, not because it's so ingrained ethically and just it wouldn't even feel right to eat meat. So when we do a cheat day, we do like a plant-based pizza. We did Beyond Burgers over the weekend and the Gardein chicken fillets. And you can get some stuff that you want when you want those comfort foods, but I'm telling you, if you do the whole food plant-based, just fruit, vegetables, if you do, nuts, you can use sunflower
Seeds.
seeds, you can do there's so many varieties of vegetables, mushrooms, that's what I forgot. That's what I'm putting in my food because they have so much protein and you can make them into so many things. Like I like them with barbecue sauce, like roasted in the oven. I even made a mushroom taste like a steamed shrimp before. You get the white mushrooms. I made seafood salad with them. Like you would be so surprised how diverse mushrooms can be if you need that, because I think once we go through life thinking we have to have meat in something, it becomes weird for us at a certain point to want to eat just the vegetables. And for a while you have to, like,
Right.
you feel like you need that thing in there, but beans do that. KT said, I am doing good. I made it this week. I'm so happy you made it. I was picking on her last week, but she was working. We knew. We know you still love us. Well, Dawn, is there anything else you want to say?
No, I haven't thoroughly enjoyed myself. Thank you so much for having me on here as usual and being such an inspiration to me.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. I know that that's the only thing we can do is tell people our story and let them make, decisions
Make
based
their
on
own
that.
decision. Yeah.
But thank you all for listening,
Thanks for coming, KT.
and we will see you guys tomorrow on the Tuesday takeover on J&J Videos channel, and we'll see you here next Meatless Monday or Meatball Monday. I'm just kidding. But Gardein Meat
See you guys.